The field of DEMS lining up to challenge the president keeps on growing, but do they really stand a chance? Earlier, I sat down with Trump 2020 senior campaign advisor, the president's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. Take a look. Laura, thanks again for being with us. I see you're in full campaign mode now. You're out there. You're throwing some punches, and you are part of the team. You're an essential part of the team, actually. Yeah, you represent the team well, and you've got a different race this time. You got Joe Biden now leading in the polls, and when I think about Joe Biden, I think about Obama, I think about Hillary Clinton, and I think that if he were to be the candidate, and the president is certainly making a lot of noise about him. Number one, does the president want to run against Joe Biden, or is he just dissing him?
Well, I actually think, Janine, it really doesn't matter who the candidate is. I think this president is very comfortable with where he stands. I mean, 2016, this was a businessman and a television personality who we all knew, but we didn't know how he would do as the president.
Right.
Now we see that he has delivered on so many promises that he made to this country, and it's benefiting the American people. Joe Biden, on the other hand, was part of the Obama administration, the vice president for Barack Obama, who told people of his home state that he keeps trying to claim, Pennsylvania, that those manufacturing jobs that keep that state running were gone forever. They were overseas, and Obama said it would take a magic wand to bring them back. Guess who brought him back to the people of Pennsylvania and all these other states? Donald Trump. I do think when you're looking at the candidates, it's very interesting that the momentum right now is behind Joe Biden. He seems to be one of the more centrist candidates, which doesn't say a lot because they're so far left. But I think he's a person that maybe some independents could get behind. On the other hand, I think you'll have a lot of millennials and young people very upset if Bernie Sanders is not the candidate. So either way, no matter who it is, we're okay.
Think about it. You've got Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, both of them two old white guys to the millennials, and doesn't fit into their basket of who they think is important.
But per identity politics, they're going to choose a female running mate, they say.
Oh,
right. Because why wouldn't we want to pander to the women a little bit more?
Yeah. But, you know, the president has the benefit of not having to fight 16 or 17 other Republicans. There's no primary. So he's ready to go to town. I think the other day he said, let's get this thing started.
He's ready. You know he's a fighter.
I know
where he's from. He's from Queens. He's ready to fight.
All right. And another week, another Dem jumps into the race. And this week, it was an interesting character that the Trump family is quite familiar with, and that is Mayor de Blasio.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you what you think of him, how, if he were to run against the president, it would work, and what the guy you live with thinks of him.
Well, I think if you paid attention this week, my husband had a little Twitter interaction with our mayor here in New York. Listen, the mayor cannot get our city together, let alone run a country. If you can't run a city like New York City, we have crime that's going through the roof. We have homelessness rampant now. We have trash on the streets of New York City.
We do.
I will say that Giuliani and Bloomberg did an incredible job at keeping this city clean and really running it very well. Mayor de Blasio has done a very poor job of that, and now he thinks that the American people ought to give him a shot at running the country. I got to tell you, I think he's going to be in for a rude awakening, not to mention 70% of people in New York here think it's a terrible idea that he run for president.
Yeah, but, you know, the other way to look at it is then he would at least leave New York. But that's another question.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, but let's talk about another mayor-elect, Pete Buttigieg.
Yes.
He's different. He would be a different kind of candidate for the president to run against. I mean, he's a millennial. You know, he's young. He's not the kind of person that the president is used to running against. It's not like a Hillary or any of the 16 or 17 he ran against. How would the president run against a Pete Buttigieg?
Well, again, I think he would do fine against him. I think Pete is probably a person that millennials and younger people could get behind because he is a young guy and progressive in that way. But maybe he's not as extreme as a Bernie Sanders, so maybe the Democrats like him. The president is going to do fine, I think, with anybody, because when you really look at this field overall, Janine, what you see is that so many of these people are running on ideas like implementing the Green New Deal and socialism in our country. And these are things that people in this country cannot get behind. You see a booming economy, people back to work. Why would we want to change change that.
Well, and you know, the other issue is the economy. It should be the centerpiece. Is the president going to drop the Russia thing and start talking about his strongest card, which is the economy?
He would like to drop the Russia thing, but they won't let us drop the Russia thing because the media and the Democrats are obsessed with it. I think because they know that's all they've got. That was the only hand they had to play. They were banking on the fact that even though Donald Trump won this election, maybe they could trick the American people and pull one over and get him out of office. And it didn't work.
It didn't.
So we're all ready to move on. We would love to see that happen.
All right. So when you are pregnant again, when is the baby due?
In August.
Okay. If it's a boy, what will his name be?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. I need help with names, Janine.
If it's a girl?
We don't have any names.
You don't? We'll talk about it as soon as this segment is over.
Maybe we should take a poll, see what people think.
All right, send in your suggestion for the baby's name. We don't know if it's a boy or girl. Actually, we do. I do, but I'm not telling you. Anyway, Lara, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Now, the president has been successful in pushing back against dozens of Democrat probes. And that has Democrats seething and enraged, and they're now threatening to thwart President Trump's agenda until the 2020 election. Here's the quote. Democrats' big fear is that public interest in the Mueller report is ebbing. The Democrats insist that they still have options. They're thinking about mounting new and novel challenges against the Trump administration on things like health care and other things, other issues as well. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and former chair of the House Oversight Committee, Jason Chaffetz. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, Elizabeth, good to be with you.
You know, they're really frustrated Mueller's not agreeing to testify. You know, no nationally televised spectacle of a John Dean-type hearings. They're stuck with the theatrics of reading the Mueller report on the House floor. But what are the, quote, new and novel challenges that they're going to use to try to block Trump? What do you think they are?
Well, this is the fundamental problem. When they don't have issues to run on, when the economy's doing so well, when the president is taking on China, then they have to go to these antics and these circus type things of, hey, maybe we should put Barr in handcuffs. Maybe we should hold him in contempt. Maybe we should. I mean, they're coming up with stuff that we haven't done in 200 years around here in this country because I think they're so desperate to change the narrative of how well the economy's doing.
And here's Representative Republican Mark Meadows says Democrats are in a, quote, fantasy land cut off from mainstream America. The fact that they're reading the Mueller report in the rules room and the only people covering it are Hill reporters, he's saying there's a disconnect between D.C. and Main Street. Your take on Mark Meadows there?
Well, he's absolutely, I mean, the Mueller report is out there for every American. They can go and read it for themselves. Everything that's allowed by law is put out there. And the Attorney General didn't have to do that, but he did. So, hey, we're going to go read this for somebody. I mean, they really are in a bubble. And I've never walked down the street and had somebody say, hey, can you read the whole Mueller report for us again? Let's have another hearing about it. We know the conclusion. There was no collusion.
You know, Nancy Pelosi said, quote, Democrats get a little down and ask, why aren't we impeaching the president? Now Pelosi is saying she might do impeachment without the impeachment, Jason, in order to enforce subpoenas and get more fishing expedition documents. Watch this.
It doesn't mean you're going on an impeachment path, but it means if you had the information, you might.
Is that what impeachment is for?
No, it's not. It's not. And it's an abuse. It's a power grab. The Democrats are they just want to grab back the power so desperately that they're willing to go to all of these antics. But I don't think that's playing well in middle America. I think Americans are smart enough to figure this out. They know that they're just picking on Donald Trump, and they're not putting together serious policy proposals that would actually move the country forward. They're just not doing that.
Jason Chaffetz, great to see you.